Rolling. Alrighty there. Hello and welcome to Holy Moonlight Crusaders, where we're going to play Resident Evil 4 on the Nintendo Switch. I'm J. Dylan Proctor, the Nazarene Preacher Man, and there are two others here in the chat with me.
Hello, this is Tradesman Tyler.
Tradesman Tyler, nice to have you.
And Derek Superleg is also in the chat.
Derek Superleg. So, y'all, we're going to talk about a lot of things in the world right now, and we're going to use Resident Evil 4 as a template for that. And in order to do that, I really want to share my thoughts on the worldview in the game, because yesterday I did a live stream, mostly was me being terrible at clearing out this room. But everything that goes on with the mob in this game, I think is a great metaphor for a lot of things that happen in the world. So I'm going to share with y'all my thoughts on the worldview, and then I'll let y'all respond to it. Does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so Resident Evil 4 is this situation where you have townspeople who are possessed by something. Something is inside them. Somewhere between being a parasite or a virus. It's taken possession of them, like a demon might take possession of something, of someone. And it causes them to lose their unique characteristics. So they kind of all become NPCs, hence why a lot of them, they look the same, they look just like the same recycled characters over and over again. And that's what it happens when you get possessed by something and turned into a mob. I really think this is a metaphor for what goes on in our world when people get whipped up into a mob. And it's worth noting that in the game, the townspeople who are made into these zombies are made into such by a cult that lives in a castle kind of up on a hill. This cult up in their castle, they've put this virus, this disease, this parasite in these people that's turned them into a mob. They're no longer thinking for themselves. They're no longer unique individuals. And they're doing a lot of terrible things. And yes, it's not the townspeople's fault necessarily that they become this, but it's not good just to let them be a mob. Being in a position where you get smoked by Leon is not is not how God wants you to live. But we see that this happens throughout life. People, they create bad ideas, find elites, they push narratives on people that turn people into a mob, and it causes them to do violent things. And the people that live up in the castle, they get to play like they're better than everybody, they're smarter than everybody. They're enforcing this. They're culpable too, and they'll experience the ramifications, but not to the same way that the townspeople do. And the villain there, that kid, you can't tell if it's an old thing or a new thing. Sort of like the evils in our world. Are they new? Are they old? Is this just a timeless thing being regurgitated? Jesus himself was crucified because a mob demanded crucifying. So that's really my thoughts on the basic template of the game. And it's very applicable to what we see going on in our world right now with George Floyd and people turning into mobs. No, it's not okay to be in a mob. And even if you believe that there's a unjust system, and what looks like happened with George Floyd was very unjust, but that being turned into a mob, into a zombie, that's not a healthy antidote to that. That's only more chaos. That's not good for people to be used as tools to be a mob where some cult in a castle can use them as their pawns. That's horribly, horribly wicked. Being smoked by Leon is not what God designed you to do. So, gentlemen, your thoughts. And I went way deeper into that yesterday.
Well, the mob. Oh no. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get off on a different subject, but it's very tied to it. My wife is telling me that they're riding in Columbia heading towards Spring Hill, and Spring Hill's where I work, and Columbia is not far from where I live, and they're also doing riding over in Shelbyville, which I don't know how much riding they're actually doing, but I would really like to go protect the city that I'm paying taxes in, to say the least, and I will put that on record that I would like to protect. I would like to protect where I live.
Yeah.
But as far as mob rule goes, I don't know how many people actually are out there following this, but the mob that they have generated, they are very, very willing to
very violent.
Yeah, they're very willing to become very violent, and I don't think they represent everybody. I think
No.
that the majority of America gave their respect to the car until they started destroying corporations, or not corporations, but businesses, and actually, I guess corporations, mostly own business. Once they started doing that, I don't know where they're getting from that are willing to go think that.
Well, it is very much like a possession. It's like you're made into an NPC zombie. You're not thinking for yourself. You're doing horrible things.
I also seen some of the people that I follow on Instagram try to link this, and I'm not saying excited. They're like, well, look at all the cops and what they're doing for running and stopping you from going to church and stuff like that. I don't know if I can get behind it. Of what's going on.
Well, it's the simple fact that evil begets evil, and this is the illustration I used a while ago. I said the coronavirus is an alligator in the yard. And we're being told by the media to only pay attention to that alligator. That is the only thing that can hurt you. But the truth is when predators come, alligators, they don't exist by themselves. There's usually a lot of them together. When one problem crops up, you usually have multiple. There's not one armadillo in Tennessee. There's a lot of them. And in fact, the alligator pointing at the alligator is also an alligator. And there is truth. The stuff comes in waves when it rains and pours because our culture is very sick. A lot of this really does boil down to spiritual warfare. And spiritual warfare isn't just this notion of somebody spinning their head around. It's really easy to deal with when it's like that. The most effective things of evil is when they use a little bit of truth, like Adam and Eve in the garden. When Eve's looking at the fruit and she says, this is good for food. Well, actually, I think that's totally true. But that's not the full story. You're only getting a partial bit of the story, and you've been coaxed into evil through sophistry, through fake news, through stuff that's meant to manipulate you and control you and turn you into an NPC. So that's... And I went further into this yesterday. I don't even know what happened there.
Yeah, I really do agree as you have been saying. I don't think there's a more fitting analogy.
Yeah. Just showing people truth doesn't fix it.
No, you have to have the eye.
Yep.
Yeah, we were talking about the dog and the snake. He didn't have the eyes to see the snake. The snake was up there.
Yep. And hey,
By the end,
yep. If it were a poisonous snake with ill intent, he would be dead.
yeah. Just like these zombies, like if you didn't, if you thought they were good people.
But I do think there is something to the fact that being possessed and made into the mob does make you into an NPC. I know
Yeah, totally, yeah.
they're not unique individuals. They're just NPCs.
So could you say eyes to see, ears to hear, and brain to think?
Sure.
If you don't have the brain to think.
Yeah, this is heart, mind, and soul. Heart, body. This is all of it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if you don't have the mind to think about it.
And seriously, if people are honest, do you really think people rioting and being violent like that's actually going to make this better? It's going to push us to the negative form of revival that is a total death. A whole generation must die and a future generation be reborn.
Yeah, the memes that I don't like are the ones trying to tie this into the revolution. You know, I think the revolution had a little different thought process to it.
It was aspirational rather than just desperate.
Yeah.
It was aspiring
that's
to
a good way
something.
put it, yeah.
Yeah, it was aspiring to high print, and you can tell this by their fruits. This is another thing we need to do. We need to actually start weighing things out by the fruit. The revolution was aspiring to principles. This is appealing to carnality.
Right.
This is not holding. This is not saying we need standards. I mean, if people want to come out and say these are the standards we need to live by, you know, even if I disagree with them, I can at least appreciate there's an aspiration there. But they're not even giving you that. They're just saying we're here. The depravity is happening. The violence is here to stay. We're gonna watch the world burn because we don't like the world has failed. And you know what? The world has failed a lot of things. The world will always fail. The world, you look at what happened with Michael Kidd, how they conspired to create a crime against him. That totally wicked. Big failure. You know, people are right, the world will fail you. But the answer is not becoming a mob. It's not being one of these zombies to get smoked by Leon. The firearms are certainly the equalizer. Would you be embarrassed if you got smoked by Leon?
It depends. I would actually say yes.
He's not. I like Leon, but he's not the most masculine dude out there.
Yeah, no.
No.
But if it happened, it happened.
Hey, that's kind of some Eastern Russian logic there for you. Sometimes the Big Daddy Boss gets smoked by Leon and his
Haircut. Yeah. You know, so I don't want to on this too long. The whole Facebook mob is very. It's for one thing, real. There's people that I grew up with that I thought, it really shows me that they have like
It's not the natural state. Having eyes to see is not the natural state of life.
You know, if we were talking about instruction on rights, if we were talking about stripping your constitution and coming up with something new, I could probably get behind it more. Dude, I think this is on fake. Like, somebody's putting people up to this.
And when you say fake, you mean it's not what it is professing to be.
Yeah, well, they follow it. Like, I are you okay? Look, we're gonna get these off court, get in the car. But instead, they told us smoke off the street for what seemed like it seemed like unnecessary force, right?
Yeah.
It seemed like he was dead. They had force. I could have gotten caught.
Yep.
Good at doing building.
Well, you can, yeah, and you can make a distinction between those two. This is not honoring George Floyd. And to your point that you're saying, you know, this is not what it appears to be. In this game, these people, they're not made into this mob by their own will.
I'm sorry, Dylan. George was showing me something. She was showing me a lady trying to protect her children and get ripped out in front of it. What were you saying?
You were talking about how this is fake, and what you mean by that is it's not what it appears to be. It needs to be held accountable. This isn't just innocent, oppressed people. This is because, I mean, everybody experienced suffering in life. This whole idea that life is just a utopia.
Well, if you don't, I think if you don't,
Yeah, I mean, to an
Like,
extent.
I'm not saying you have to suffer extremely, but it's good to have heart.
Yeah.
Granted,
Yeah, sure.
right? But I guess,
Well,
but no, it doesn't feel heartfelt.
well, to the point, this mob here, they're not the cult. They're just the townspeople that are suffering because of what the cult has done to them. And it's interesting that it is a cult, and I think that's true. When you look at the spirit of this age that possesses people, that's largely the justice ideologies, which really aren't interested in justice, they're interested in power and control, and they'll outright say that if you give them the opportunity. They are a cult, they're a belief system. It is a belief system that does this to people, and it's not even the belief system that these people necessarily espouse themselves. They're not part of the cult, but yet they're afflicted by it.
Oh man, that was a big jump.
Yeah.
You better pound that Y button.
I pound the A button. I'm a rebel.
You're the rebel.
But, you know, it's important to distinguish. The actors causing this are the cult in the castle. There's a cult in the castle. And they're not orchestrating it in the sense that they're calling every shot, but they've put an infectious thing out there to possess these people and turn them into zombies, to turn them into the mob. And that's how it happens in real life. They just throw out something which will turn people into this. And nature will take its course once they're possessed, if you kind of know what I mean.
Yeah. You know, I heard there was like some article trying to disprove and say, you know, the conspiracy theorists think that there's like bad actors out there inciting these riots or whatever. And actually somebody, our neighbor was like, well, maybe these aren't the smartest people thinking that this is going on. I was like, no, I do think this is going on. I think there are a few like bad people going on
Oh, we know
in
there.
the world enticing this. I was like, I don't think it's solely area to area. I think there are some people being
Most
dispersed.
of the ones arrested in Minneapolis were from somewhere else, which tells you that is
I wouldn't doubt it.
true. And even to the point of Michael Flynn, the whole Michael Flynn case tells you, yes, there was a handful of people conspiring.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take many, right, to change the outlook.
And if people don't know what the Michael Flynn situation is, you really should. It is Michael Flynn. He was to be, and again, I'm not here to tell people what politics they have to have. Everyone's welcome on our channel. But Michael Flynn was supposed to be Trump's, one of his advisors on security, national security, stuff like that. And the whole Russian collusion narrative was based around, you know, Michael Flynn being a Russian asset, and we've got to investigate this. It was all a hoax from the beginning. There was no evidence. The FBI was going to close it, and then top-ranking people in the FBI and Obama administration, the CIA, they said, no, we want this opened, and they have a handwritten note conspiring to commit a crime, which is committing a crime that would be inventing a crime to get Michael Flynn. And mostly because he would know that they were doing wiretapping, literally wiretapping, which most people thought was out of date in the world of cell phones. They were literally doing this stuff. And a handful of people basically tried to overthrow our government. And the whole Russian collusion thing was built up. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's now public record. It is 100% true.
Well, they say conspiracy theory just to discredit you, right?
Which is how the term was designed. Yeah. I mean, have anybody remember Jeffrey Epstein?
Who's that, Dylan? Who is Jeffrey?
And see, here's that giant robot of the kid/old man, which is also how evils are. They look extremely new, extremely young, and you think, oh, this is special, this is our age. No, they're old as time. You can't really tell. Is it ancient or is it new?
We just don't
just don't know.
Yeah, Epstein has been swept under the rug. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't remember him, but I bet there's almost just as many that do. At least in our generation. It was like our generation.
Well, I think it's because it was a shift in our culture where you realize believing the experts was doing damage to our society because the experts were obviously willing. It was, I think the Jeffrey Epstein thing for a lot of people was like when you found out you've been cheated on by your girlfriend or boyfriend. Because for a lot of people that were into the whole Me Too movement, people who weren't really super political, but they're like, yeah, I don't want women to be abused. They started saying, hold up, you mean all these news media people were covering up for a sex pedophile? There was a woman who could have had a story that would have put him, but she didn't care about the women, even though she's all Me Too, Me Too. She only cared about her getting the scoop of the story and the credit. And how all these politicians and stuff, they wanted this swept under the rug. Suddenly a lot of people realized all these people who have been telling me they want justice and equality and equity, they're lying to me.
Yeah.
They're using me for power. There were a lot of people who realized that. And I think that's why Jeffrey Epstein was such a pivotal thing. Because it was such a brazen and obvious lie. Like the amount of stuff you have to believe is just brazen lie.
You have to believe that the cameras didn't work, that he just got off suicide watch.
Stuff in his cell that shouldn't be there, no inmates around, all the guards asleep. The guy that actually viewed his body and did the autopsy said, no, this is not suicide. And the guy that didn't view the body said it was suicide. And then how the neck was broken is inconsistent with hanging yourself in a cell, but coming from a high place with the wrong linked rope.
Thinking that it came from a high place, which is not possible.
Not possible. But the other way those bones can get broken is by strangulation, which is possible.
Which is very possible, yeah.
Sad.
That was probably one of the biggest lies that we had to begin with, and now we're like, well, what else are we lying about? Oh, you're lying about Michael Flynn.
Yep,
Well,
lying about Michael Flynn.
So why wouldn't we lie about these protests? Now, they're not even protests. They are really, I hate to say this, but they really are the thug that Trump says now. And I'm not, I like Trump, but I don't like Trump. Does that make sense? Like,
Yep.
I'm not 100% sold,
Hey,
but I do like it.
when I'm looking at these zombies, I think this is a great metaphor. This sucks that these people are made into zombies, and we're back with the cult now. It sucks.
Yeah.
And these people that are out there, they've been made into zombies by... It's bad.
Well, they're listening to the wrong thing, right?
Well,
Essentially.
They've... And this has all been programmed into people. We were sold growing up in school and culture and movies. The whole culture told us, you don't need to have let's be honest, a Christian biblical worldview. You need to question those things, and you need to wait and have a decision later. You're offending people if you take a stand. So they took this stance and said everything's going to be morally neutral. People have to have eyes to see or ears to hear something. They have to have a metric to weigh out life. People are going to have a belief system of what is good and what is evil. And when you don't give people the solid biblical worldview, something will sweep in and fill that gap. Evil. To quote Dr. No, the criminal mind is always superior, and that's because the criminal mind doesn't have restraints. You can tell people in the church they can't teach a biblical worldview to kids, but guess who will teach their worldview to kids? Malicious people with very wicked intent, they have no problem doing it. They're not going to obey any rules. They don't have any restraint. Well, y'all want to change subjects to something else? Have we done enough talking on this?
Yeah, we can.
Well, I know you were wanting to talk.
Look at that guy spinning rotisserie style.
Oh, I know, that's great. Rotisserie style spinning is always good.
like a toasted chicken before long. So speaking of subjects, alright, so how many PT Cruisers did I see in the campgrounds?
I'm gonna say it was like playing a game like Grand Theft Auto where they got loaded into the system, so they were every other car.
Alright, Derek, what's your thoughts?
God, I'm gonna say that they're about 10% of the camping population.
Can I add a quick caveat to mine?
Do it.
I'm gonna say you saw at least 2 of the ever rare PT Cruiser convertible.
Alright, the answer was 3.
No, that wasn't as many as I was thinking.
No, it's not as many as you would think, but it's more than you see in one gathering at a time.
Yeah.
So, but nobody guessed the special bonus. I guess it's just. Can y'all guess what the special bonus? Let me ask that first, and then we'll go from there. There's a special.
One of them is a Woody.
All right, we got one vote Woody. What's the other?
Well, Dylan already said the convertibles.
Not convertible.
Oh, one of them has a trailer hitch.
Was one of them dentless?
Alright. One had a number 3 front license plate on the front.
Oh!
Do it for Dale.
Do it for Dale. But that's blasphemy, man.
What color was it?
Black.
Sweetie Bird yellow.
Pretty Bird Yellow, that's awesome. But they can't do that. They're breaking the rules, man. You gotta have a
How
GM
come?
product.
Well,
you can't do it for Dale in Mopar.
Well, I seen that, man. I tell you what, though, that ate me up all weekend because all I could think in my head was do it for Dale every time I passed it.
Yeah, you gotta do it for Dale in Mopar or in
Alright.
GM.
Fine. What other car do you think I've seen that actually made me excited? Like, alright, I'll put it like this. I heard the Iowa and I got excited.
I know what it is. It's not fair for me to guess.
What was it?
A canned out boat.
What? No, that wasn't in the campground. Any guesses? Any other guesses?
Yeah, I've got to take a guess. I would say like a Fox Mustang if you're listening to the sound. But it may not be.
Is it anything with a turbo on it?
Dylan nailed it. It was a Fox. It was a hatchback. It was red with the 2 little white stripes on the front fenders. It wasn't cammed or anything, but it had a really nice push rod sound. It was a pretty good sounding car.
At what point do you have a mechanical replica of yourself?
That's when you're like, that's when you know you're boss level. What else was there? Yeah, I seen a lot of PT Cruisers. I seen the elusive Mitsubishi Eclipse from the 90s. I seen a bunch of Corolla, of course. A lot of Harley had that game. That was kind of hot. So last night we went myself and Dale, my neighbor, we walked over to the tiki bar because they were doing karaoke. That's always kind of a sight to see, right?
Sure.
We got over there and the septic tank busted for the whole campground. So like they shut down all the showers and all the bathrooms and everything. There's like water spewing everywhere. So they had to shut down the karaoke, which was pretty entertaining to say the least. It was kind of fun. I gotta say that. I had a good time people watching. responsible. So there's two things I can see that nobody cared about. Nobody cared about the Romans, and nobody cared about the Romans.
Which I think might be a truer microcosm than what the media is telling you.
You think it's micro?
No. I think the media is exaggerating.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, they have to, right? That's the only way they can justify shutting down the economy.
Well, and also that helps them be the cult in this game. That's infecting people. They want to be members of the cult.
Yeah.
And let me say something else. You don't want approval from the cult. A lot of people are desperate to get approval from the cult. If there's no gain, they'll never approve of you, and it gains you nothing. Begging to be a part of the cult and be accepted by them. They'll accept you if you give up everything else and become, totally espouse their belief. But then you've become a monster, and they won't ever approve of you if you don't.
On a side note, a lot of work yourself.
Yeah. Can you imagine the guys hired to make this?
Well, again, were they? What were they told? Were they told like, hey, look, just don't even remember this, or did they have to sign like a relief form that's like, in NDA non-disclosure agreement? Don't talk about it.
Let's say that was signed for them after they completed it.
It was signed.
Yeah, I like your choice of preposition. I think it's accurate. It was
I
signed
think you're
for
very
them.
accurate. It was signed for them after. You're not. But hold on now. If you're into building that kind of replica, this probably wouldn't be your first one. So
No, it's a niche market.
yeah, I would say you're probably gonna live.
Could be.
You're probably gonna sign that. You're probably gonna sign that application.
You're just kind of on hold for whatever baddie comes your way.
Yeah, you're just waiting on the next baddie. Like, you might even be prodding a little bit, trying to get some more baddies.
You're over here saying, hey y'all, you ought to check out what I did for Salazar, which is the old man / young kid's name.
It's quality work, I promise.
Quality? It's got like a random, like nonsensical kind of vibe to it. Like you would hate to have to hold your meeting on like the top shelf here.
Oh, you know what else we didn't talk about on the weekend is golf carts in the camper. I didn't know there was such rivalry between golf carts, but that is like unspoken rivalry. And
there were nice golf carts with rims there too, I'm sure.
Oh, if you didn't have rims, you were a peasant. And but if you had rims and underglow, you were the top dog of the camper world. Yeah. Like, you all. Yeah, it was up to see. Like, I caught on that. You were rolling right now in a nice golf cart.
Were there any gas-powered go-karts there? Golf carts.
I don't think so. I think they were all electric. Man, what did Geppetto do? Did Geppetto make that from Pinocchio?
Well, nice reference there. Maybe he's actually a villain. He makes stuff for baddies.
So it's not Geppetto then?
No, it is.
Oh, it is Geppetto.
Geppetto is actually a contractor for baddies.
He works for Baddies R Us.
He works for Baddies R Us. And Tommy Young, whoa.
Well, I've had a few days.
today's Pentecost, just of the St. Peter and preached Peter's message.
I seen that. I seen the dress up. I didn't get to listen to it. I see dress up.
That's something on the other day.
Tori says that they're rioting in Murfreesboro right now.
Yeah, Murfreesboro was lit last time I checked on it.
I could see that.
Well, here he is. Is he old? Is he young?
You again.
The sacred rite that's
He's
about to
middle-aged.
begin at this tower shall endow the girl with magnificent power.
See, I can get behind everything but
She
that.
will join us. Become
All right,
one
so
of
I
us.
met 2 people
is no ritual.
this weekend,
It's terrorism.
and we have never
Isn't
spoken
that
before.
a popular
And
word these days? Not
they
to
were all
worry.
on the same page
We've
with the
prepared
Rona
a special
and the
ritual
coincidentalness and the, I wouldn't say tinfoil hatness, but they were pretty much on the same page as us. Pretty much along everything. So it is refreshing to hear others
Yeah.
kind of on the same page.
Yeah. I think one of the things that the cult likes to do is make you think that you're alone.
But you're not.
You know, I mean, that even happens in this game. There's this other mysterious girl that looks kind of like Bayonetta rolling around, and Leon doesn't even know she's here. There's Luis. He gets surprised that he's here. They want you to feel like you're alone. Did you see the stabs hand simulation?
I seen that. That was impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It was a little foretaste for what's to come in Resident Evil 7.
So, we went out to eat last night for our neighbor's son's birthday. And the waitress, she had a mask on, right? But it wasn't covering anything but her chin.
Is this the guy that's about my age?
Yeah, Jordan. Really nice guy.
Yeah. Seemed pretty cool. I guess our age.
Yeah, he's already. Why in the world is she even wearing that mask?
I'm gonna
It
say.
was only covering her chin. Is it just a chin cover? Is that what it is?
It's probably somebody who's been sucked into I have to do this, and they're doing the absolute bare minimum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's just because of liabilities, which is junk that were held hostage by fake virtues, forced go capitalism.
So I heard yesterday that somebody has signed into an order that you can't be held liable for somebody catching you. Like you can't be sued for somebody catching the road in the wrong place.
Look at these guys jump down.
Well, I mean, it would be really hard to prove. They can't even get the test rights half the time, so...
Okay. Yeah. So you're talking. So if the tests were right half of the time, you couldn't trace it down to where you were. There is no way you can figure out where you got it from.
But that's provided we live in a society where people are honest and doing due diligence. And we live in the I want to sue you because you made me feel bad.
I want to see you because this coffee was too hot and it's spilled on me.
I will sue you because I need money. What excuse can I come up with today?
Pretty much. You know what? I kind of want to talk about that. And you're really good at talking about that.
I didn't hear what you said. Talk about what?
Debtors.
Debtors. I thought you said the devils there for a second. And I was like, devils plural. This is going to be an interesting conversation.
And now, no, I'm sorry, my phone got moved. So we were out on Tree Lake yesterday, and my neighbor's son made a comment about how probably the majority of people out there were making these ridiculous payments on these boats. Like, there were boats in the water. I looked them up today that were 6 figures plus. And he's like, y'all have fun making payments. We're gonna just sit out here and have fun on our floats. And we had just as much fun on the floats as they were having out there on those boats.
Yeah.
And, maybe I'm not the best person to be making references to or talk about that statement actually kind of hit pretty hard. they might be having fun today, but they're still making a payment on that boat.
Yep.
And a 6-figure boat, man, that's a house. It was really surreal to me to see that somebody was spending that kind of money on a boat.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if there's one or not. I would hope not.
Well, I mean, our system is obviously designed for people to take out loans. I mean, a lot of companies that make stuff, that's where the money is made, in the financial side of it, not in the quality of the product per se. I mean, like you look at Ford and GM, they really are expecting people to finance these things. And I mean, you've seen even how payments have gotten to where you've got like 72 month, like crazy long years doing this stuff.
Yeah, I know there's one thing I don't want, and that is I don't want to do payments again. That is miserable. But there's no way I could also have a boat. That is crazy money. There's no way you can have fun. No way you're paying that expensive boat.
Well, the only way you can is if you have cognitive dissonance where you just don't pay attention to it.
I guess.
Which is not healthy. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
But yeah. But I can't say this. We got the cheap full of Johnson's.
Hey,
and
man.
We got pulled out on like a jet ski. We were just out there floating, watching everybody else. Like it was just as much fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, that water was free. I did more shivering than I did anything else.
Are y'all ready for Emperor Palpatine?
Let's do Palpatine.
All these guys look like Emperor Palpatine. I think I'm just gonna
Would Palpatine tell you that you don't need the high ground to win?
Yeah, I would hope that people buying those boats used.
Somebody's
Derek, I would hope so. Man. They're so clean, so good. They're I looked them up this morning because I'm not saying I didn't, but I had to reaffirm that. And they were 6-figure boats. And I was like, that is really funny.
Yeah. Were you looking at Malibu boats?
One was a Supra, one was a Malibu, one was a Super Aeronautique. There was one other one I was bringing on here. Dude.
Wake setter? Wakes?
No, this one didn't look too much like a wake boat. Regardless, like to me, my untrained eye, I would say this is probably like a $35,000 or $40,000 boat. I'm not saying that that's justified, but that's crazy. And then somebody made a comment like $15,000 boat, and I looked it up. And I was just at that point.
Yeah. Don't they say don't buy a boat unless you're comfortable lighting a $100 bill on fire?
I've never heard that, but I can believe it.
I say that about race cars. I'm not going to sit there and grand in a Corvette that I race, so, I mean...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Derek and I have a boat that we have very little money in. I don't remember if we paid $300 or $600 for it.
We paid $3 because we halved it at $150.
Yes, that sounds about right. And you know what? We don't winterize that thing, and it's got an Evinrude engine on it. It actually came with the second engine. You go out there and start him up, and it runs.
But yeah, dude, it just bugs my mind that and the
Yeah.
spending. Like, you may not go in debt for it, but you're still spending that money. And that is
Sure.
astounding.
Sure.
For just to go sit on to go sit on the water next to somebody else. Like, who are you trying to impress? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, you're right. I mean,
Everybody has hobbies. I can get my hobby. I think the boat is cool. It's not for me, but I can appreciate somebody doing it.
well, I don't think Paul is opposed to having a boat. I think he says if you're, it's not worth going into financial ruin for.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Like that is a very seasonal thing. Unless you're living on it, yeah. But it is a very seasonal thing.
Now, how do y'all?
Imagine spending $40,000 on a bike. That is to me.
I guess you could think of it like a second home.
If you're gonna live,
But how do y'all feel about houseboats? Could you do it?
no, I could not do a house.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Well, so again, our neighbor's son, he said, because he's working at a restaurant in the marina, and he's like, you know, people are talking about it, and he's not about it. And when a boat pulls up at like 3 a.m. dawn, and starts rocking your boat and wakes you up because they're trying to drown, and they're all loud, there's no way. Like, I wouldn't want to be woken up by somebody else trying to stop them in the morning.
I mean, I get that, but I think that would become part of life.
It probably
Kind of like when
yeah.
you live next to a train track and you don't hear the trains anymore. You live
Yeah.
next to the airport and you never hear a jet take off. Like,
You're probably right. Okay. I
and Christina's house is by the airport, and like
You have-
Annabelle will occasionally like point out and be like airplane, and they're inside on the other side. Have two,
You haven't heard a plane in like 2 years.
yeah.
No,
No,
I can-
when I first stayed over here, like they would wake me up at night. Every once in a while they fly over pretty low. They would wake me up. Now nothing wakes me up.
So somebody sent us a comment the other day, and YouTube comments and stuff are like the speak and say. You pull the lever, and you know the arrow spins around. The cow says moo. Sometimes the dog says moo. Like whatever it lands on is what you get. Somebody commented we were talking about what would replace the Power Rangers. Somebody put a comment, and they were talking about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle rap. Pizza wrap. Y'all remember anything about that?
A pizza wrap?
Yeah, pizza wrap.
I remember the Ninja Turtles Vanilla Ice rap song.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, from Secret of the News. Vanilla Ice was a rap song. I don't.
Now wait, are we talking about a pizza wrap, like a pizza wrap with like a box, like a wrap container? Or a rap like a song, like
Song.
a music genre?
Yeah, music.
How does that replace the Power?
Well, we were talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so they were just like, hey, do y'all remember this?
Oh, the Ninja rap? I remember the Ninja rap, totally. You know, Vanilla Ice, go Ninja, go. Sorry, that I really did like the Super Release. I thought that was an awesome. That's when we got the Super Shredder, which really I think they did discredit. They did not let the Super Shredder live long enough.
You needed some super shredding.
Well,
I
so
do not
y'all
remember the Ninja Turtle rap, but I do remember the Ninja Turtles playing metal music, and that is something I would pay a lot of money to see.
Man. So,
well, real quick, the Super Shredder was taken down by a boat dock collapsing on you. And I'm like, if you're the Super Shredder, that doesn't take you down.
yeah. So, I don't forgot what I was gonna say. The Spider-Man TV show that's on Disney Plus, the one that came out in like 1994 from our childhood, is really, really good.
Is that the original one where like, is it the Spider-Man animated series?
Yeah, it's just called Spider-Man, I think. It came out about the same time as the Batman animated series, and it's got mature plots in it so that an adult can enjoy watching it. It's not like in a sexual, mature thing, but one of them had the Dr. Octopus had the quote, "Down to Gehenna or up to the throne, he travels the fastest who travels alone," which is obviously a quote. I forget what that's it's a verse from some poet or something like that. But
it seemed like the 90s had better animated series.
they really do. And I was talking about this yesterday. One of the reasons why is they're not infected with justice ideologies. They're totally fine letting you see. Like, you watch a lot of modern stuff. It's shocking that the Flash and the CW's Flash, that the dad in that is actually a good dad, because it's become a trope that if you're like an adult man, you're an idiot, and if you're an adult man that's a dad, you're an even bigger idiot doofus that's useless in like modern television. And all the female leads, they all have masculine. They're basically Leon from this game. And it's boring how much their attempt to break stereotypes is like purely a stereotype.
Yeah, that is upsetting. Why is the dad always the buffoon? I get it. Like, to an extent, dads want to have fun and typically are more of the relaxed, kind of goofy kind of person, but they are also typically the person that people look to for leadership.
Yeah, and that's not what you will find in a modern TV series. Like, at all. Never. Like, never. That's, like, I was shocked when I watched The Flash and the dad was portrayed positively. I was like, a positive portrayal of a father figure? That's rare.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happened really since Tim Allen in Home Improvement.
Tim Allen in Home Improvement, man. I absolutely love that show.
You just missed her. The ritual is over.
It's good.
She left with my men to an
I like how he's just in here chilling like he didn't get his hand stabbed earlier.
New topic that relates to an old one where you're talking about.
I think it's
If
time
you don't
to
think
pay
your
my
phone
due
listens, I
respects
don't
towards her
look up Ninja Turtle stuff.
stubborn will.
But Tyler was talking about the girl, the reporter, April somebody.
April O'Neil.
Yeah, April O'Neil.
Instagram has decided that's the only thing I want to look at.
Really?
Yeah.
There he is. He has descended into full monster. It does. The Spider-Man series is pretty good though.
Yeah, Spider-Man is good. I really enjoyed that as a kid.
It's
Batman animated series.
they're both enjoyable as an adult. Like, you're not gonna be bored with it like it's watching a child's TV show. It actually does some pretty good moral lessons.
There'll be one less worry about.
And I mean, Spider-Man is a metaphor of young men becoming men, actualizing as a man. And I do think the Tobey Maguire movies, even though I'm not keen on Tobey Maguire himself, he's not terribly likable. But the Tobey Maguire movies, I think, are a lot better than the Tom Holland movies. It's actually being the metaphor for young men actualizing. You don't just get to rely on a Tony Stark to fill in the gaps and give you a new suit, or have a 3D printer to give you something nice, or have an airplane to pick you up.
I looked at it as the Tony Stark was like a fill-in father figure, just to kind of give you a little bit of guidance to help you along.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of looked at it.
You could kind of make that argument, but I think...
I don't remember that during Spider-Man ever.
No, you have Uncle Ben who leaves you with great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility, which is true for every son of Adam. and daughter of Eve for that matter, but
I think it's
men and women
time
are
I pay
different.
my due
That doesn't mean one is better than the
respects
other.
towards your impressive and
But-
stubborn will.
Every son of Adam and daughter of Eve, with great power comes responsibility. And you have to sort that out. That's between you and God. And when Uncle Ben dies, I think in the Tobey Maguire movie, there's a scene. As a kid, I watched it. It's the scene where Uncle Ben tells him that. They're like in a car or something. Peter Parker, he lies about where he's going. He's going wrestling, and he don't want Uncle Ben to know. And Uncle Ben's dropping him off. And Uncle Ben's like, I know what you're going through. And Spider-Man's like, no, you don't. And I remember as a kid, I was like, yeah, Uncle Ben has no idea that he's about to be Spider-Man. But Uncle Ben was actually right. Uncle Ben does know what he's going through because it's the same thing every man goes through. It doesn't matter if you have superhero powers or not. That is what it means to become a man. And then after Uncle Ben dies, Peter Parker has to sort that out. He has to make the decision. He can't, tell people
After this, there'll be one less
the
to
identity.
worry
He's got to keep his own ethic in order and stuff of that nature. And which the third movie is terrible. I don't think it's as terrible as people make it out to be. I mean, it's watchable, even though it's nowhere as good as the first two.
It had too much going on.
It had too much. Well, I say it had too much going on, and there's episodes of the Spider-Man cartoon that have more going on in 20 minutes, but they're better.
Yeah.
So, I'm not disagreeing with you. There was too much going on, but it was just, I can't lay a finger on why it's so poor, and I haven't watched it in a while anyway, but...
Well, I guess some of it could just be like directing and the script writers and everything else.
that definitely is a portion of it.
It's like they spent too much time on the Venom thing,
Yeah.
but they didn't really make the Spider-Man Venom like it should have been.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember Venom in the animated series, like it made Spider-Man full of ready to rock, where it required like I don't remember Spider-Man.
Dude, there's an awesome scene where he gets the symbiote, the black suit. Because I just watched that, and I'd love to talk about Venom. Because it's basically the story of Cain and Abel, and the contrast between the image of God that we're all born with and the carnal nature that we're inherited. Toby, or well, there's a great scene. Peter Parker, he kind of threatens a bully, and this girl's like, "You kind of scare me." And he's like, "Okay," and then he like just does a backflip and peels off like nothing major's going on.
Yeah,
it's awesome. And I'm thinking about it to the point where I'm not even playing Resident Evil. But the cartoon does a way better job of Venom.
Oh, Venom in the cartoon was amazing. That was huge.
And it is because of the worldview. It opens up with when you see Eddie Brock and Peter Parker. They're both in the same social circles. They're not actually brothers, obviously, but it's very much like Cain and Abel. They basically have the same potential. They're in the same profession, and in their own right, they're both kind of alpha males. Though, like in the biblical story, Cain is the older. Cain is the superior alpha of the two. He's like the meta alpha. And because of course they've gone their own way, so they're kind of like alpha in different territories. And Eddie Brock is also like the larger alpha of the two. But when Peter Parker, he experiences the symbiote, he rejects it. But then the symbiote goes to live with Eddie Brock, and when the two meet, Eddie Brock, who's Venom, he's explaining to Peter Parker, he's like, "Look, you don't know. When you get this, it's like you're part of something which has been with the universe since the beginning of time. It's basically the sin nature." And Venom is a version of Spider-Man. I mean, not only did it get its look and image from spending time with Peter Parker, but it's a version of the same potential. But one of them is fully given over to the sin nature, which has been with us since the dawn of time, and the other has rejected that to an extent. I mean, I'm not saying Peter Parker's not a sinner, but he's at least trying to aspire to righteousness, where the other is just straight up totally depraved. And as with that, Venom shows no restraints, where Spider-Man does show more restraints, and that does make Venom more powerful. That doesn't mean that Peter Parker and Spider-Man can't defeat him. I mean, Leon is killing goons. It is possible for the smaller one to take out the bigger one. But it's extremely well done. It's very similar to the Cain Abel situation, though in the end Cain is defeated. But it's well done in the cartoon. And again, you can enjoy a mature, meaningful story in the cartoon with it. And it's a good thing for kids to watch. I put my total stamp of approval on it. You're not going to get that in a more modern series, generally. I haven't seen the new Spider-Man series, but almost all of it's justice ideologies. Instead of writing good plots, we just show superficial characteristic here. We got our boxes checked, and we don't write good stories.
Well, as far as I remember, Spider-Man and the universe, the multiverse, they had to make Spider-Man a girl, and then they had to make Spider-Man a different ethnicity. It is not the same as what Spider-Man was written to be.
Yeah, and I mean,
if you want to do that, that's cool. Just make a different character.
well, they in the Into the Spider-Verse, Peter Parker is not Spider-Man. Peter Parker's in that as one of the Spider-Man, but follows Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And he's actually it's actually really well. I actually would just prefer to see Miles Morales come of age as Spider-Man who's black. And I don't want to see Peter Parker in that. I don't want to see Spider-Pig, Spider-Gwen. Just go away. I don't like stuff like that myself.
I'm fine with that. It's like you almost need to come up with a new character, right?
Yeah, like and then they've got like the anime version of Spider-Man. I'm just like I don't care.
Suffer just like Ashley.
We gotta get serious about this. And I'm gonna have to start by hearing that. Nobody would ever watch this. I'm just getting spanked by this. It's because I'm talking and not thinking about it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the Spider-Man series is pretty rocking. Oh, and the NES had great rocking. Derek was talking about the metal in Ninja Turtles. The 8-bit music in the first NES game, I don't think it uses any music from the show. But man, those tunes are awesome. And they're also strange because they have like 6/8 time triple meters, stuff that's kind of hard to do in sequence music. It's actually got it's very advanced music with the hardware limitations of the NES. It's pretty cool stuff.
Suffer just like Ashley.
This dude's gross.
Guys, I don't know if y'all seen the forecast for like Wednesday, but it's gonna be like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Y'all see that?
No. But I am not surprised.
It was supposed to be like 49. It was such a difference in temperature. Oh, I got to go shoot today. No.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Alright, so this is the first time I've actually been serious about this. It's going a lot better.
Do you have any drills to share with people, Tyler? Not you.
I tell you what, honestly, the best thing you could do is if that Jackson Rob works. At least for me. Like, every time I try to work, it was a surprise every time you turn it around. So, and I found myself more on target during that. I really wanted to shoot some skeet today, but I didn't have anybody to pull the skeet room. I don't know if you've seen the little stunt I pulled on Instagram. Thanks, Federal Ammunition for supplying me with ammo. I figured reverse psychology might work on that. Probably my sponsor and maybe
I wish I was doing
Man, I saw that
sponsor me with some tires.
Dude.
Yeah.
I gotta get tires on the Z4.
Oh, I didn't get
To suffer just like Ashley.
I found a Facebook ad. 2 5-point core boot harnesses and a harness bar for a 94 to 04. That's for $200.
Oh man.
I'm like, so I highly doubt it.
I just smoked to sleep at night with a spell, and I'll let you know when I came.
Didn't die.
Didn't even try. Then what else was it we were gonna talk about?
Well, we talked about candy.
Yep.
We talked about riots, and then it's whatever y'all want to talk about.
So, speaking of more philosophy and things of that nature, theology, worldview. So, what we were supposed to talk about last Friday on the main podcast that I do, which we weren't able to do because everybody was out of town except for me, is the shopping cart theory. That the shopping cart is the smallest version, is the smallest experiment on whether or not people can rule themselves. Because shopping carts, if you don't put them up, they don't really do a lot of damage. It's not like the end of the world. But also, it generally makes society better if you put the shopping carts up. There's no consequences for not putting the shopping cart up, really. Like, nobody's going to come out there and, like, arrest you or fine you if you don't put the shopping cart up. But
There's not even a rule that says you should.
yeah.
You just do it because you know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and Derek, suddenly you sound a lot louder. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, my child is now in bed, so instead of her laying down right beside me, trying to wake her up, she is in bed.
You sound a lot louder than, like, Tyler does.
It's probably because I got some speakers. Kind of changes.
got you on the handset.
But what do y'all think about that?
I think it does a lot. If you're not willing to put that shopping cart, then what are you actually doing? It is not a
Well, it has some indicator of your belief system, because your belief system matters more than your intentions do, because your belief systems will predict, you know, will a person do something like that when there's no rules and you don't spend a lot of thought about it. I mean, if you all ever sit around and think about what are you going to do with shopping carts, you just kind of automatically do it.
I usually, I'm 90% of the time aim to take back.
I don't know that I've ever not taken it back.
I'll have to hit a few instances, but it's not been a whole lot.
That was close.
I don't know. I can think of one time like that, and it's because it was like sleeting. One time I mean, it was a thunderstorm, and it was like just really small hail. It was more like sleet, but it still stung, and I was like, sorry.
Ooh, speaking of stone, I got stoned on the tip of the toe by a bee on Friday.
Oh, nice.
I forgot how bad that hurt.
You hurt bad?
It did for about an hour or two.
And I got stung by a scorpion on the foot, and I couldn't skateboard for like 2 weeks.
Where'd you do that?
At one of my friends' house in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, scorpions are in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
They're small, but they're there.
And they hurt pretty bad when they sting you. The easiest way I can like, it felt like a bone. You know, one of those. I landed like Primo and Remo jumping off of a loading dock. Like right on that truck, right in the middle of my foot. And dude, that hurt me so much. I forgot that scorpion. Still like just at a much like faster developing rate.
Can y'all tell me what sort of machining Leon's doing to be able to buy from that guy, or I guess that other guy's doing machining. He can sell Leon and like cartridge capacity increase for that revolver. So you've got like a whole new cylinder on there. Like even that would require like some major frame modification.
That is serious craftsmanship.
Have y'all seen chain-fed revolvers?
No.
Is this a thing?
Yeah.
Were they originally cylinder revolvers that have been modified, or what? Because why is it considered a revolver at that point, not just a chain gun?
Well, I mean, I guess it technically is a chain gun, but it looks just like a revolver.
Oh.
It's got a hand that rotates. I mean, it still has a cylinder. It's just the cylinder isn't. It's I mean, like 5, 6, however many chambers. It's got like a chain of cartridges that kind of like hangs below the revolver. Can you imagine stunting on somebody in 1850?
Can you imagine being turned into this gross monster? But that's what this stuff does to you.
Living in a hospital earlier. Is it possible? What's the possibility of living in a campground?
Oh, I'm out. I'm living in a campground is not something I want to do for a long time.
If you gave me the choice between living in a campground in New York City, campground all the way.
Yeah, if that was the only choice, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's a campground in New York City. And then you're not...
Yeah, I would have to say the location of the campground and my living arrangements within the camp. The one thing that is appealing to me about a houseboat is how they will make you pay property taxes on it.
Yeah.
Don't think that somebody hadn't figured out ways to make you pay taxes on it. You know, I feel like there's a place to account for that stuff of that nature. And forget what it's called. Ugh. Y'all seen that picture that was floating around where people are like, I'm so poor I don't even know what these people are in? That meme?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone has seen that meme. I don't know if they're in a yacht or a plane. I assume it's a yacht. But it's awful small if it is a yacht.
I think it was Old Hickory. I'm not sure, but our neighbor was telling us on the way up there that they went to July 4th there once, and somebody decided to land their helicopter on their boat. And I'm like, that's a So like,
Yes.
if I was that rich, I don't think I would watch July 4th on Old Hickory.
You say it's just a flex move.
Yeah.
Helicopters will depend on what helicopter it is. Those little gyrocopters are not too expensive.
Have y'all seen the meme where they're trying to start the 10-stroke helicopter that somebody's made?
Yes.
I think I did one.
That's pretty awesome.
It's extremely awesome. I don't know why, but I view an airplane infinitely safer than a helicopter. How I've been looking on Marketplace, and I believe I can buy an airplane.
That'd be cool. I'm pretty content just being on the ground, so that's all I want to get.
I'm ready for an airplane.
He's got little goons. Man, this is a long boss battle. I think I've got the formula figured out. But dang. It takes a long time. Is that his heart? He needs to have that checked out. He's had one too many hamburgers. Are these things finally dead?
Appears to be so.
It appears to be so. Yeah, y'all, I used to like to go to bed at like 10 p.m. But since I've been live streaming, it's like, up all hours of the night. Then I watch like some sort of TV show till I fall asleep.
I am like honestly pretty wore out because the last 2 nights I've barely slept.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeping in a camper is pretty rough.
Great. You know, that's what you normally do after finishing off a boss like that. Just go down in random elevator. Like we'll go. I don't know where. In one of my pockets. I've lost something. I thought it was in one of my coat pockets. Now I'm gonna get compulsive.
Why in Dark Souls, when you put on this chop chest head, why does it suck health off of you?
It is the price you must pay.
Is it just too fashionable?
Oh, it's the price. I mean, I like how they sent Leon on this mission and they didn't bank on him having enough stuff.
Things on sale.
It's just this guy's here. But to Derek's point, I mean, I guess some stuff in life, if you choose to go that route,
What are you buying?
there's a price.
No, it's just me and like the bullet behind it. Like, does it boost item discovery because there's always an item in the trunk chest? Like, what
Is
does
that all?
this do?
Is that all, stranger? Is that all? Is that all, stranger? Is that all, stranger? Is that all? Is that all? Thank you. Is that all, stranger? Is that all? Thank you.
You know what? I think
Do y'all think there's an actual like Dark Souls lore book where they have pretty much everything explained?
I mean, we could look that up and see. I don't know.
No. I mean like that hasn't been released. Just
Probably not.
somewhere in From Software Studios, there is an actual book that they. I'm going to say that there is. Because it seems like they put way too much time and thought into the little bit of like information they do give you, that they don't have some sort of overall, we made this way because of X, Y, Z. Like, how could you get all the different designers and graphics, and how could you get everybody on the same page without it?
Like when people animate stuff, you've got general character models and storyboards and stuff that are followed. And there is a treasure in here that I cannot find.
But they said that their 5 days have been peaceful, and that's where Martin Luther King was killed. So you've got people there that actually remember what it was like.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't in here.
They said they're standing in front of the hotel it's peaceful.
Good.
They said this is how we're supposed to be doing it. Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it'll stay that way. And that's... Well, yeah.
If you were gonna make one unnecessary purchase, like just on something you don't really need, you don't, just something you want.
I'm tempted to say Swatch watches, but I'm not going to.
No, not that you have, like just something you would like to.
I don't know. There are these little tiny, like 7-inch computers that are pretty cool. I see these Scorpion. It would be pretty cool. I see the Scorpion would be cool. The little computers would be cool.
Remember those Tyler's still there?
Yeah.
Tyler, what would you get?
Say it one more time.
Like if you were just gonna make a purchase of like just something you wanted, Not something you would like necessarily actually buy, but just something
wrong
you
with
think you'd like to.
Supercharger?
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Does Facebook Marketplace garbage fit in this category? The Marketplace garbage cars?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's this end of the chapter.
Hey,
Oh,
how's that dog smelling, Tyler?
Oh, yeah, Tyler's dog got sprayed by a skunk.
Way better. Like, she still kind of stinks, but it's not like it was.
Yeah.
Way better. She was really happy I was home.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So.
Well, y'all, I think since we got past that, we may go ahead and end it here.
Sounds good to me. I'm super sleepy, guys.
Yeah. Where does she come from? What is happening here? And why is she pulling this boat over?
Got some
What kind
business
of
to
boat?
take care of.
Is this a six-figure boat?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to end it now. It should load back into this cutscene later. So, we'll say goodbye to the live stream. Y'all have a good evening. God love you and have a blessed day.
Bye.